Hello everyone, this is Dr. Heather Carden. I am one of your PruvIt nutrition specialists. Welcome everybody to the live Facebook today. I am here every Wednesday to help answer questions about ketones, Keto OS, and Keto Cream. So I'm going to give everybody a few minutes here to get online. I know last week we had a little bit of technical difficulty, so I'm hoping we have fabulous reception today. We do have big storms in the Midwest here and already lost power one time, so I'm having a lot of faith that we're going to have an amazing broadcast today. And know that if you can't be on the Facebook Live, or you know someone else can't be, you can always share this later, or let's take a couple minutes now that you can actually jump and add some friends on and let them know that if they have questions about PruvIt or Keto OS or Biomax or Keto Cream, they can actually answer their questions here. So I want to welcome everyone who's new to PruvIt. I know as a company we're growing very large by month or day by day. So welcome everybody to the call from North America, including Canada, from around the globe. I know there's many people using Keto OS, not only in America and Canada, but in other countries too. So hello to you all out there. I'm just going to start with the basics. My name is Dr. Heather Carden. I am the co-owner of Carden Center for Wellness in Overland Park, Kansas. I have been a low-carb, high-fat doctor, or we've taught the low-carb, high-fat ketogenic lifestyle in our clinic for almost 20 years. We live it as a family. So you can imagine how excited I was when I found out that we had exogenous ketones, pure therapeutic exogenous ketones that you could drink and put in your body. I had taught for 20 years people going into a ketogenic diet, which would take days and weeks and months sometimes to get their body into ketosis. And now I know I can simply share a powdered drink. People can drink it and put their body into ketosis and get all the wonderful benefits. And we're going to review the benefits here in just a minute, but let's back up a second. Our body runs on two fuel sources. The first one it runs on is glucose, which comes from carbohydrates and fats. Via insulin, we break it down and get glucose. That's one fuel source that our body can use. Our body can also use fats. It doesn't require any insulin, and break down into three different types of ketones: acetoacetate, acetone, and beta-hydroxybutyrate. Beta-hydroxybutyrate is what we're going to be talking about today. It is the ketone body that gives the most amount of energy. It's anti-inflammatory. It gets right into the powerhouse of the cell, so at a cellular level, to help feed your body and give it energy. So let's just review what Keto OS can do for you, and then we're going to start answering some questions. So when I just read my can, and a lot of people say, what is KAN? It's actually the jug. When people say, what is on the go, or OTG, it's just an on-the-go packet or a sachet. So when we read the benefits, it seems like ketones have a lot of different benefits. So how does that apply to your health? I always ask people, like, what are your health benefits, or what are you feeling like you're missing in your daily activities? Is it fatigue? Is it muscle preservation? I'm reading right off the can here. Is it fast and sustainable energy? Maybe you have a lot of brain fog you're dealing with. Maybe you feel like you need more focus, or maybe you have an appetite that is not under control. And ketones absolutely can help you control your appetite. And we'll talk about that more also. They actually increase muscle gain and strength because ketones are muscle preserving, unlike glucose. Ketones can also increase our mood. They're little signalers for our brain. So that's why people will say, why do I feel so good when I'm on a low carb, high fat, ketogenic diet? What is in the white powder making my body feel so much better? I have a better attitude at work, a better attitude at home, or my kids are having better attitudes if they're taking the pure therapeutic exogenous ketones. It's because they're signalers for our brain. We also sleep better because ketones can down-regulate the excitatory neurons. So we sleep better, better focus, less nervousness. And the last one is better digestion and clearer skin. We know that our skin is the overall reflection of what's happening inside our body. So if our body's healthier on the inside, our skin's going to reflect that on the outside. So hopefully that's just a brief review over ketones and what they do, and then we're going to get started here with some questions. So I know everybody has a lot of questions. So I'm trying to read. Brian says, Dr. Heather, what about exogenous ketones and some of these feeds so fast? So I think he's talking about Crohn's. So that is actually an autoimmune disease of autoimmune disease of the digestive system. So when we talk about ketones, first I want to let you know that we're not making any medical claims here. We're simply sharing that we've studied ketones for 100 years. We've actually been studying exogenous ketones, which is what keto OS is, specifically beta hydroxybutyrate, and what they do for our body. So Crohn's happens to be an autoimmune disease, but there's a lot of different diseases. But we know through clinical data and experimentation that ketones actually reduce inflammation. You can Google ketones and inflammation, or BHB, which is beta hydroxybutyrate, and inflammation. You find several papers linking that it actually inhibits an inflammatory marker in our body. So whether it's inflammation of the skin, inflammation of the joints, acute inflammation from a sprain, or maybe an old injury for chronic arthritis, or gut inflammation, something like Crohn's, we know that ketones can inhibit inflammation in the body. So Robin asked, what about your kidneys? So Robin, this is a great question, because when we're talking about keto OS, we're talking about exogenous ketones. Exogenous means from outside the body. So I simply take my powder and mix it up. Endogenous ketones are ones that your body makes inside. So when we drink keto OS, it's water soluble. So what that means is our body utilizes what it needs and simply excretes what it doesn't need. When something's fat soluble, like vitamin D or vitamin A, those things that are fat soluble, our body actually can store those. But keto OS is water soluble, so it does not build up in your system. Your body simply excretes out what it doesn't need. So hopefully I answered your question about kidney and kidney clearing. And there's also a great explanation on the Help Center that you can go to. It talks about kidney stones and the ketogenic diet, not exogenous ketones, and kidneys just using keto OS, so that we don't have any clinical evidence. Exogenous ketones are safe for our liver, it's safe for our gallbladder, safe for our pancreas, and safe for our kidneys. So Amanda's saying, do you have a personal preference? So Amanda, what I'm going to do, if you stay on here, at the very end, the last 5 minutes, I'm going to go through all of the products that Keto OS has. So get your paper and pen out, because I'll do that at the very end to help answer everybody else. So Kim is asking about MS. Kim, there's a lot of information about the ketogenic diet, ketones, and MS, because ketones are muscle preservation. We know ketones are a better source of energy. With something like MS, we know that we have some decrease in muscle tissue, muscle tone. We also know that ketones give us about 38% more energy. So for any type of muscle dystrophy or maybe movement disorder, when you look at ketones in MS, or ketones in Parkinson's, or ketones in ALS, or ketones in dystonia, any of those muscle movements or muscle disorders are what those called, we know that ketones actually can calm that down, because they're giving energy at a cellular level and they're giving more oxygen at a cellular level. So it makes sense that the body should actually perform much better. Doesn't reverse any disease. Ketones and keto OS doesn't cure any disease, no medical claims. But again, there's so much data out there over the last few years that you can absolutely find that information. So Dave is asking about blood pressure. Some of these come through pretty quick. So Dave, I'm glad you asked that question. So if you have a history of blood pressure, or if you have a history of maybe tachycardia, then I'm going to recommend that first you check with your doctor. But I do want to let you know that keto OS and exogenous ketones are absolutely safe. I would recommend that you use the caffeine-free version, because caffeine can sometimes elevate blood pressure. Caffeine can sometimes increase tachycardia of the heart, whether it's in coffee or in a product. So use the caffeine-free. And remember that ketones are a natural diuretic. That's why they decrease inflammation so fantastic. And that's why we get body recomposition and fat loss, because of the natural diuretic effect. So if you're on a blood pressure medication or on a water pill, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure that you remember that when you're losing inflammation and fat, your body also loses some of those really healthy minerals we need, like calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So make sure you're supplementing with those. That's an easy blood test that your doctor can check if you're under doctor's guidance for blood pressure or something like that. Again, just make sure you check with them so that you keep everything healthy and where it needs to be. So Christine's asking, what about a person's impact on a person with gallbladder issues? So Christine, that's a great question. I'm going to try to move it so the sun's changing here in Kansas. So you do not need your gallbladder when you are digesting keto OS, because it's already in the water-soluble form. What the body does need to break down is the MCT in the 2.1, and that's down in the liver. We don't need any gallbladder salts. We don't need any pancreas enzymes for that. The 2.1, the MCT, your body needs a little bit of help with. So why 2.1 is so great is you get all the beta hydroxybutyrate. It's instantly absorbed in the body within 20 minutes. We know we can check that by blood. Then the body takes the MCT oil, which is added to the beta hydroxybutyrate, and your body can make ketones out of that. That process is done a little bit in the liver, and there's just a small quantity. So if you have a concern about that, please just use the Max. It doesn't have any MCT oil or butyrate in it. So if you have a concern, Max is going to be the best one for you. Yes, Dave, we just talked about adding electrolytes as we lose inflammation and lose fat. So remember to add those electrolytes, multi-mineral. You can get an electrolyte drink. Just make sure you get a good quality one that your doctor recommends. So Brenda's asking, this is a question we get a lot, and I know that Stephanie and I talked about this yesterday. What's happening to the carbohydrates that you eat while you're drinking Keto OS? And what's happening to the carbohydrates or glucose while your body's drinking Keto OS, or is it burning fat? So two very simple things. If I eat a carbohydrate, whether it's a banana, organic broccoli, or a bagel, or cheesecake, or Halloween candy, my body, and I'm drinking my Keto OS at the same time, then when I drink the Keto OS, it's instantly absorbed into my bloodstream. My ketone levels rise. Ketones actually dampen the insulin spike. So normally if I was going to eat a banana, my insulin would rise as it would utilize it, make glucose, and come back down. If I'm having ketones or fat with that, we know it's less of a rise with the insulin, and insulin's a major depositor of fat. The body's super simple. It will use whatever fuel is most available. So if I eat a banana, I'm just using carbohydrate, or a piece of steak, and I have my Keto OS, the Keto OS is most readily available. It's already broken down. It's not like when your body has to break down nuts and seeds. So your body gets the energy from Keto OS. Then the other foods that you use, whether it's a carbohydrate, fat, or protein, those all have to go through the normal process of digestion, which takes anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. Then your body can sift and sort and use that either glucose or ketones and use it for energy. And what happens at the end of the day, normal biochemistry, is your body has extra glucose. It simply stores it for a rainy day. So that's why we found that ketones generally are not stored. So as your body gets on a lower carbohydrate diet, your body will tap into fat reserves, or as we give our body exogenous ketones, we decrease the insulin spike. Our body's more likely to use fat for fuel in that instance. So hopefully that helped clarify it. I know there seems to be a lot of confusion when we're talking about the dual fuel source. There are a couple really great videos on the PruvIt Facebook page. One Rob DeBoer made, one that Michael Rutherford and Dustin Schaefer made a long time ago talking about the dual fuel source. But just think of it like that. Your body can switch on and off in ketosis, and you're not even knowing that it's doing it. Sometimes if you're an extreme athlete and while you're sleeping, which means you're fasting when you're sleeping, you're not eating, your body can actually be producing ketones. We know babies are born in ketosis. In utero, they're in ketones. Elite athletes are in ketosis a lot of times by the end of their workout or by the end of the day. It's a normal process that our body does. So just think of ketones. We talked about all those amazing benefits. When you drink Keto OS, diet independent, which means it doesn't matter what you're having, cakes and cookies and Halloween stuff, or if you're having a really perfect ketogenic diet, your body will still absorb those ketones. You will still get all those amazing benefits of ketones. So hopefully that helps clear that up. So again, I want to welcome everybody here since we are a few minutes into this, and we've got a couple hundred people here. I would like to say, well, I'm looking for some new questions here. Put a 1 if you're brand new to the Facebook Live and you've never been on here or never answered questions, or maybe you've been on here before but never had a question that you needed answered. And put a 2 if you're someone who shares this conversation with other people and you're a person who kind of logs in or tries to log in or watch this live at 1 o'clock or comes back later in the day and watches that, just so we know if we need to bring new information to people who are new to PruvIt and new to ketones and Keto OS, or people who already have their basic information and conversation and want to just further their knowledge in here. And that's really why I'm here. I'm here to help answer and improve your knowledge and bring more value to your daily life to help you be better on your lifestyle that you're choosing to be on. So thank you all for answering those 1s and 2s. It totally helps me out. And know that if you are new, you can replay this. You can go back and listen to it. If there's questions that maybe you missed because I talked too fast, or you can go back and watch last week's episode. We talked a lot about hormones. It seemed to be I had a lot of questions about hormones with some internet interruption, but you can always go back and watch the past weeks while you're driving, while you're house cleaning, doing yard work, and know that you can get some great questions answered there. And don't forget about the Help Center. The Help Center talks about its safety. So I'm going to go with that question next. Who is Keto OS safe for? It is safe for everyone. Remember, babies are born in ketosis. Breast milk is mostly ketones. When we supplement a baby's formula, generally it has some supplement of some extra healthy fats in there. We know that our body uses a dual fuel source throughout the day. So I say ketones are safe for everybody, womb to tomb. So it's safe for a breastfeeding mom. It's safe for a pregnant mom. It's safe for our grandmas and grandpas or the older generation, because we actually know that through a lot of research that as our body ages, the brain actually can decrease the receptors that it uptakes glucose. Remember, glucose comes from carbs and proteins, and our body actually still maintains the ability to uptake ketones. So as we age, we want to make sure we're as bright as we can be, so we want to continue to uptake ketones for our brain, because our brain dictates the entire function of our body. Cameron saying, is flaxseed okay? Yeah, so I'm going to get busy with some questions. Keto OS is safe with any other supplementation. Know that it's not a protein source, it's not a multivitamin, it's not a multimineral, it's not a digestive enzyme, it's not a meal replacement. So know that you can add Keto OS to your daily vitamin regimen, to your regular prescription regimen, to your regular lifestyle. You don't have to make drastic changes to drink Keto OS or Keto Max and get all the benefits into your body. Dr. Cardin, I have a friend who has low glucose levels and is worried about Keto OS lowering her blood glucose. Thank you for asking that question. And this is also in the Help Center. But no, when we use Keto OS, remember, fats don't require insulin, and ketones are already broken down. Fats break down into ketones with no use of insulin. So it should not change your insulin level. But what ketones do is, while you're having carbohydrates, it inhibits how high it spikes. So when we talk about metabolic resistance or having hypoglycemia, ketones can actually help that because it's not using insulin. It doesn't cause the insulin to spike and drop, which generally happens when we eat food. There's a great article about insulin resistance and sensitivity in the Help Center, so I'm going to recommend that you go there and read that, and there's a clinical cited data right there. Kathy asked best ways to track macros. So Kathy, I'm probably going to not answer that question. I'll let somebody else help you with that, because I really want to focus on the product today. I want to focus on ketones and Keto OS. There's so many different ways to track macros, and each person's individual macros can vary, but know that you can add Keto OS into your daily regimen. Do calculate the macros in there if you're a person who calculates those, and know that you would just add the fat grams in there or the calories. So, oh, Patricia, I love this question. Drink max fatty liver disease. So we have what's called NAFLD, or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or alcohol-related fatty liver disease. Remember, alcohol really just comes from corn and grains and fruit and things like that. So it's a carbohydrate. Our body uses insulin, and now what we know is that high carbohydrate diets actually is what leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's not ketones, it's not healthy fats like we once thought. Remember, we banned eggs a long time ago and we banned butter, but now we know it is a high carbohydrate diet, or how the body processes and breaks down those carbohydrates that actually sorry, I'm getting this out of the way, that actually lead to that non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Ketones are safe for your liver. Keto OS, again, is water soluble. It's already broken down. The liver doesn't have to do anything. Ketones are also anti-inflammatory, so it's a great way for your body to get the benefits of ketones if you have a liver that's not processing optimally. So Bridget's asking about taking with or without food. So Bridget, there are several different ways to take Keto OS. I actually like to take Keto OS on an empty stomach for absorption, but if you're a person who has a sensitive stomach, or you're a person who maybe is a really quick adapter, what that means is your body processes food pretty quickly, then you'll want to actually take Keto OS with another fat or with a protein. What that does is slow down the absorption a little bit, because your body's processing both things together, and it will actually make an easier absorption time on the stomach. Or just use max. But I do like to use my Keto OS as a mid-morning, mid-afternoon, or pre-workout routine. So I use that as fuel for my mid-morning or fuel for my mid-afternoon. Again, not in replacement of food, but I like to drink it on an empty stomach because I want to get every absorption that I can. But some people with stomach issues, or some people who are not trying to modify their diet, it's absolutely fine to mix with hot or cold, different types of water, different types of nut milks. You can make smoothies out of it. You can, again, put in coffee or tea or water. LaCroix, sparkling water, all those type of things you can mix it with. So just find out what's best for you and what your body likes best. If you get too many ketones at one time, your stomach will absolutely tell you. So if you're a person, again, who has kind of a finicky stomach, and you're that person who's known this for decades, then again, reduce the ketones a little bit. Or if you want to do a full serving, just make sure you drink it over a slower amount of time, 20 to 30 minutes, and you have it with a little bit of food or fat. Okay, so I'm just, David's asking about the expense. So David, I'm going to let you send that to support@PruvItHQ.com, but I am actually glad that you asked that question, because high quality things are at a certain price point. So I love that Keto OS is gluten-free. It is soy-free. It is all natural. It has no preservatives, no artificial colorings. So when we start to make a product that's a very high-quality product, really the highest quality product you can get, sometimes some of those actually can increase the cost. If you're using inexpensive ingredients, then that actually lowers the cost. So know that Keto OS uses the highest quality of product, especially in the MAC. We've actually blended the BHBs. We have the kosher certification. We have the vegan certification. We have no artificial colorings in there. All those things actually make our product a really high quality product. So I think it's at a fabulous price point, knowing how hard it is to make ketones, knowing how hard it is to keep everything all natural. So I think it's, again, a great price point, and I haven't had too many people talk about that, but I'm going to focus back on the product. Yes, Rose, I will do that. Rose is asking about keto cream. I'm going to go over the last 5 minutes, Rose. I'm going to go over all of the questions. So Marcy's asking about menopause and meds. So Marcy, I'm glad you asked that question, because people get confused about that because they feel hormone changes while they're drinking the Keto OS, but Keto OS does not have any hormones in it. It is all natural. It is simply beta-hydroxybutyrate. But ketones are signalers for our brain. So especially for women or for men, our pituitary actually signals a lot of our hormones in our body, from thyroid stimulating hormone to gonadotropin hormone to parathyroid hormone, growth hormone. All those things are signaled from our brain through our body. And our body actually makes our hormones out of fat. So cholesterol actually breaks down into DHEA, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, all those healthy things. So if your body's functioning better and you're getting better signaling, it makes sense that your body's going to be at a happier state. So there will be times that people will see some hormonal changes. Again, not because Keto OS has any hormones in it, but you're giving your body a healthy fuel so it can do what it needs to do. A cycling female, that is actually stress on your body. As we age, is actually stress on your body. So if you can give your body optimal amounts of fuel, it's going to perform much, much better. Somebody just asked about ketones and blood pressure, and we did answer that earlier, so I missed that question. Yes, the salt question. So, but what about ketones? What about Keto OS and sodium or salt? We get that question quite often. So the first thing is that ketones are very acidic. So in order to balance those out, we put a natural element, which is sodium, found in our bodies. We also have potassium, magnesium in there. All those things actually help alkalize the ketones. Ketones are natural anti-inflammatory. So that's why we hear people losing fat out of water cells, decreasing inflammation. So as we naturally lose inflammation, we want to replace those healthy minerals that are lost. So even when the bad comes out of our body, like inflammation, our body will still lose magnesium, potassium, calcium, sodium. So the sodium is put in there in a proper ratio for the Keto OS based on what the potential dehydration or anti-inflammatory effect is, and it's also there to help balance it out. But if you look at any normal blood work, you're going to see that sodium is one of the first things that our body looks at. Sodium's job is actually like a taxi cab. It puts nutrients into cells. That's its major job. So know that we do need sodium in our diet, but if you're on a sodium restricted diet, please check with your physician before you start any nutritional product. So hopefully that answered that issue. Reading a couple other questions here. So Ian is adding some good tidbits in there. So if I didn't get your question answered, I'm not ignoring it. I'm just trying to read them as fast as I can. So let's talk about tummy issues. So I've seen that a couple different times. So know that our bodies are meant to burn fat. Again, it's our native state, but also know that in the last few decades, our body has really learned, or what we've been taught in school is to learn to digest a lot of carbohydrates. Having a diet, or the standard American diet, is 45 to 65% carbohydrates. So if we think that our body was supposed to burn fats like it did when we were babies, and now we've been feeding it a high carbohydrate diet, it may take a little bit of time for your gut to balance out and know that you're wanting to switch fuel sources on it. So even though you're ready to go, your gut may not ready to be. So if you're having constipation, if you're having gas and bloating, if you're having diarrhea for more than 2 days, then I'm going to ask that you simply just reduce your Keto OS serving. So maybe go to a half a serving, maybe even a fourth a serving, and do that for 2 or 3 days. And if your body seems great, then increase that slowly. I've seen a lot of times people make the mistake, they're doing too many ketones at one time and they're changing too many parameters in their diet, and they're either getting a lot of diarrhea or a lot of constipation. That's because you're giving too many ketones to your body at one time. And again, changing too many parameters. People will start eating tons of dairy and tons of nuts and trying to be more ketogenic by cutting out this stuff, adding in the Keto OS, and your gut's totally confused. So give a little bit of time, give a little bit of notice to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And remember to make sure ketones are natural anti-inflammatory or natural diuretic, so drink plenty of water with that. I know sometimes as we come into the fall season, we think that it's not as hot as it was in the summer and we stop drinking a lot of water. But know that the large intestine's major job is to get ready for evacuation, and it reabsorbs water. So plenty of water to help grab onto that inflammation, grab onto that fat as it's trying to get moved out. Okay, so Angie, just stay tuned in the last 5 minutes. So somebody gives me a 125 warning. I'm going to go over all the different products there for everyone else to read. So looking for a couple other questions here to know. And yes, it's safe for breastfeeding, and yes, it's safe for children. For children's dosing, I generally recommend that people start with just maybe a tablespoon serving for 2 or 3 days, and know that you can mix it with a LaCroix, you can mix it with coconut, you can mix it any way that you want. I know with the Max Out, which is a Maui berry punch, kids absolutely love that on the rocks. Blend it with a little bit of ice. Again, you can make a smoothie out of it, you can make a popsicle out of it. So know that I'm getting the feedback that kids really do love the Max, and I always recommend caffeine free for the Max. What serving? Again, start with a very reduced serving. If you're going to have keto OS yourself and you're going to mix it in 12 ounces, one full serving, then maybe start with 2 ounces or 3 ounces for your elementary school child. If they're middle school or older, then they can generally start with a 4 to a half a serving. If you get too many ketones, your tummy's going to get upset or your head's going to get a little bit of a rush because you're increasing so much oxygen to your body. So just reduce a serving a little bit and listen to your body, and then increase as your body allows. Yes, you can. Fran is asking about kidneys. You can actually replay this throughout the next several weeks. I know that if you go to the Help Center, it's also listed there about kidneys and ketones and being totally safe for ketones. So, yes, Jerry, you can take your CLA with your ketone. It is an excellent source of fat. It does not compete with it because your body still has to break down the CLA. So you can take Keto OS with any of your other natural supplements. And do you love hearing that your kids love the Keto OS? Mine too. So Robert's asking about PruvIt products, and I'm getting my timeline here, thank you, about Parkinson's. So we did actually cover movement disorders like Parkinson's or inattentional tremors or dystonia or dysarthria, any of those type of movement disorders. There's a lot of great research. When you Google ketones and Parkinson's or ketones and ALS or ketones and MS, you're going to see a lot of information because ketones give so much more oxygen to the tissue at a cellular level that we do see with a high ketone level or ketones in the body, that we see those movement disorders decreasing. Again, we're not curing anything, but it definitely helps give more fuel to the body and help calm the body down. Oh, great question, Melissa. Where is the Help Center found? If you go to PruvItNow.com and you go all the way to the bottom of every single page, it says Help Center. And when you click on the Help Center, will come up 4 blue bars. The first one says product. There's, I think, 19 listings there. It breaks down each individual product. You can open up the label. You can see what the macros are in it, why it's in there, and what it's doing, who's it safe for, how to save the product, what diet to use with the product. Also includes a native 8 and biohacking. The second tab, which is my favorite one, is all about the health concern. So it talks about pregnancy and kidney disease, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, liver disease, kidney disease, what Keto OS is safe for. It gives the clinical data and information that we have using exogenous ketones with specific organ functions, organs being your kidney, your liver, those type of things. So I'm going to answer one more question, then I'm going to review all of the products with you. Okay, Paul says, I'm taking the product and I don't feel the difference. Paul, this is one of my favorite questions. I kind of ask people, they say, I've been taking it 3 or 4 days, I don't feel any different. Know that it takes about 6 months to make 1 blood cell in your body. So if I start my Keto OS today, all the blood cells that I make today are getting the healthy energy from the ketones, but all the ones I made the last 159 days don't have the advantage of having ketones in it. Think of it like planting a barren field. You have to plant and plant and plant. So you need to keep watering your body with ketones, and know that as you water your body, some people have a very enlightened experience pretty quickly because maybe their health status is a lot stronger, their constitution is stronger. Other people with more health challenges, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Stress can actually impair our digestion. Lack of sleep can impair our digestion. Age, activity, pharmaceuticals, whatever's happening in our life and our diet can actually kind of decrease how our body absorbs any nutrient, not just Keto OS, but any of the foods that we eat. So give your body time. You know, if you go to your physician and they give you a prescription, they want to see in 30 or 60 days because they know it takes that long to get the nutrients into the cell. Know with Keto OS, it's a fuel source that your body uses anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. So when you drink Keto OS, gets into your bloodstream within 20 minutes, and you will be in a state of ketosis anywhere from 2 to 6 plus hours, depending on how fat adapted you are and depending on your lifestyle. So give your body time. I think it's kind of like exercise. They say it takes 6 weeks to notice changes in the gym. I'm going to tell you the same thing on the inside. It takes 4 to 6 weeks for your body really to get in a healthier mechanism. The healthier you are, the more you might notice something else. So I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to take the last couple minutes here, and I'm going to review all of the products with you slowly. So hopefully you have your notes out there, a pen and paper, or you can always replay this later. So Keto OS 2.1. It is the orange dreamsicle. So why is it the 2.1 and why is it flavored? So it has MCT oil, which is a medium chain triglyceride, which is an amazing source of fuel for our body. It's amazing help with our cholesterol. You can Google MCT cholesterol and triglycerides and see a lot of benefits with that. We use a tiny bit of dairy, so this is the only one besides the keto cream that's not dairy-free, to plate the MCT to the beta-hydroxybutyrate. The BHB is the main ingredient. That's the ketone body that gets you into ketosis. Also has a little bit of stevia for natural flavoring and has orange essential oil for flavoring also. So it's all flavored normal. It's gluten-free, not dairy-free, but soy-free, nut-free, mushroom-free, coloring-free, nitrate-free, all those things. And all products come with or without caffeine. I dropped my jug on the floor, but the 3.0 is the chocolate flavoring. Instead of having the MCT oil, which is a medium chain triglyceride oil, it actually has a short chain fatty acid called butyrate or butyric acid. It actually comes in a salt form. I get asked the question a lot, why is there no fats if butyrates from butter are like butter? Why does it have any fats in there? Because we're actually using the salt form in there. So it doesn't have any fat, where the orange has more calories and has more fat, or the 2.1 does. The butyrate also is bound to the beta-hydroxybutyrate, so it's the same ketone body you find in the 2.1, but it also has some inulin or chicory root. Inulin or chicory root is where the carbs come from in the 3.0. It's a great prebiotic. It actually turns on the healthy gut bacteria in our body. It also has been used for years to help stabilize blood sugar and aid in digestion of carbohydrates. So it's a fabulous addition to the already great formula of the beta-hydroxybutyrate. Plus it has additional amino acids. So as we age or as we grow, if you talk about children, we all need very essential amino acids for our body to grow with. So the orange is a 2.1, MCT plus a BHB. The chocolate, which is a 3.0, is a butyrate plus the BHB plus amino acids and chicory root. And then the max. The max is the Maui punch. People say, why is it called Biomax, or what is the big difference? It does not have the MCT oil. It does not have the butyrate or butyric acid in there. It has a blend of the BHBs, or a blend of the beta-hydroxybutyrate, which is the ketone body, which gives us twice the bioavailable as any other ketone supplement on the market. So it's the most bioavailable ketone body on the market. It is dairy-free, it is certified vegan, the salts are certified kosher, and it is stamped with Sports Informed Improved. All three products, the orange, the chocolate, and the Maui, or the 2.1, 3.0, and max, all come in charge, which means with caffeine. All come uncharged, which is without caffeine. So again, if you're someone who's worried about hypertension or blood pressure, or you're using it for children, or while you're breastfeeding, or for little ones, again, I would exclude all of the caffeine. We now have it available. I'm going to say in Canada, I think you're still waiting on the max. I'm not for sure, but I think that's still true. You guys are waiting on that a little bit, so know it's soon to come. And if you're one who lives in Canada and wanting to know the new releases, just stay tuned on the Facebook page. The very last product I'm going to talk about is Keto Cream, which is one of my favorite things. I love all the benefits of healthy fats, but I'm also the one who does not like the taste of MCT oil. And I don't love coconut oil in my coffee or my tea, but I know the amazing benefits of fat. So Keto Cream does not have any ketones in it. The ketone body, again, is beta-hydroxybutyrate, found in the 2.1 to 3.0 in the max. But the Keto Cream gives you all the basic building blocks that you need to make ketone bodies. So it's an MCT powder instead of oil, which I love. It has coconut powder, which has C8, C10, and C12. Those are things that help your body fight viruses and bacteria. It helps our immune system. So if you're unaware of it, look up all the health benefits of coconut powder, coconut oil, and you're going to see the amazing effect it has with that, with the C8, C10, and C12. So look that up. Plus it has our own special patent blend of Ceylon cinnamon. And what that is called the only true cinnamon. I know you can Google cinnamon and you can see all the benefits of cinnamon. It helps with digestion. It helps with blood sugar balance. I love the flavor of it. It's also a natural anti-inflammatory. It's a natural antioxidant. So I use this in my coffee or tea. The other night I had a friend make a killer biscotti out of it, and I think she did post a recipe on the Facebook page where she took some eggs and the keto cream. So you can make a cookie or a muffin out of this. Know that it doesn't have to only go in coffee or in tea. If you want to give it to your children, which I would highly recommend getting more fats in your kid because our brains are 60% fat and they need fats as they grow, and healthy fats. Know that you can mix this and make a milkshake out of it. I know there's a recipe using the PruvIt root beer and making a root beer float. You can make a chocolate milkshake out of coconut, or you can actually mix the 3.0 with the keto cream. So you can mix those together and make a killer nutritional high-fat shake for yourself or for your kids. With that being said, know that you can mix or mingle. You're not just stuck to one of the Keto OS product. Maybe you're in the mood for some orange and you want to have the 2.1, or maybe you're in the chocolate craving mood like many of us are, especially after Halloween. Then use the 3.0 to help curb those cravings and help balance and make more satiety, to help balance out that as you're coming off of a holiday. So it's a great way to use that. But know that you can mix and mingle. You can put the cream in your coffee or tea. You can put the 3.0 or the 2.1 in your coffee or tea. You're still going to get all the amazing benefits of Keto OS and the amazing benefits of the ketone body in there. I want to thank you all for being here, and know that if someone missed this, and maybe there's someone who's asking you a lot of questions about what are you drinking, or why do you feel so great, or where did you get all the energy from, or what's in that white powder, know that you can share this Facebook Live on your own Facebook page. You can send us a private messenger. So if somebody missed out because they were at work, or they were driving, or traveling, or luncheon, or something like that, know that you can also go back and look at past episodes. There's a lot of great benefit here. So I want to thank PruvIt, the corporation, for allowing me to be here. They truly believe in education. They truly believe in the value of having you have the information about what ketones are and how this conversation. So welcome to anyone who's new. I'll be back here next Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. And thank you everyone who joined in here and allowing me to help educate you on the health benefits of ketones and Keto OS, Keto Max, and Keto Cream. Have a great day.